Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to heel and toe and double clutch. Now, I have seen a few tutorials for this online, but I feel like a lot of them don't go into the detail required or really explain the reasons as to why you should be doing this. So, a lot of people think it's just a track technique, but I do it every single day on every single downshift because it's actually really good. It makes the drive more fun, it reduces wear on components, it's generally just beneficial. So I think it's an important skill to learn, and I'll just give you some tips for beginners on how to learn it and then how to apply it. So to start with, what is the heel and toe? Heel and toe is basically, as you downshift, you need to bring your revs up to match the speed you're going. If you're at 60 and you're in 4th gear, and let's say you're doing 3000 RPM, if you want to switch down to 3rd without dropping your speed, you need to bring your RPM up to say 4000. Now that's known as a rev match. Now to do that, you can press the throttle. The easiest way of practicing this is go around on the street, hold a constant speed, push in the clutch, push in the accelerator as you shift down. Press in the clutch, as you shift down, press the accelerator, give it a blip, and then you let go off both. So it's speed, and now let's have a look at that in a driving environment.
So find yourself a nice hill, and then just the hill will give you the sensation of braking without having to use your brake pedal. So you go up the hill, blip, drop it down a gear. So 4th, bump it down to 3rd, so shift down a gear, clutch, blip, down a gear, release clutch. And it's a perfect match of the revs, it's smooth, there shouldn't be any joltiness in the car.
Now for the heel and toe itself, there's not too much more in it than just the basic rev match. All you have to do is just add the toe on the brake pedal and use either the side of your foot or the base of your foot to press the accelerator. So depending on whether you've got a wide foot or a long foot or what your preference is, some people like to heel and toe using the side of their foot, like this. They just like to roll the side off. I personally prefer to use it toe fully on the brake because I have quite a long foot, and then pivot and put the heel across to there. So you can either go that way or you can go that way. Now for the heel and toe itself, what you do is you press the brake pedal in and then you go clutch, blip as you're shifting, release. Couldn't be simple. Brake, clutch, shift, release. And faster. Then if you need to drop down multiple gears, you can chain multiple heel and toes together like such.
Okay, so it's probably easiest to practice your heel and toe on sort of quieter roads, just where no one's around in case you screw up, and it just makes you a bit more comfortable. A good choice of shoes would be something small, narrow, but you can do it in anything if you want. So when you're doing a road heel and toe, when you're just starting out, the trick is to let the clutch off slowly. If you try letting off the clutch fast, you probably won't have the revs quite right. So just nice and slow to start with until you get a hang of it. Come up to a corner here, 3rd gear, brake, heel and toe into 2nd gear. Then once you've got it faster and you can then sort of dive into corners quicker, then you can sort of get more sort of dumping the clutch like that. And you can see that way will be much faster and it's really, really smooth, but you need to be perfect on how you have your revs matched.
Now double clutching is a far less common technique. It's mainly only needed in older cars or cars with gearbox issues, or perhaps if you want to get into 1st gear in a car that doesn't have a synchromesh first. Basically what it is that it allows you to shift without the use of the synchromesh on the gearbox. Now that means that you have to manually bring up the speed of the gearbox countershaft as you're shifting down. So in order to do that, you release the clutch midway through your shift while you're blipping, and that engages that countershaft through and spins it up to speed. So I'll show you the process and then you can sort of have a look at it.
Just looking at the footwork first, when you're on the brakes, press the brake, you go clutch, shift out of gear into neutral. As you're doing that, you blip, release the clutch while you're in neutral, then clutch again, shift and release. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. You can do a double blip or a single blip. So for a single blip, we only blip once during the shift. So we go like that.
For a double blip, which you may need if your hand works a bit slower or if you're on an older car with longer gear shift, you do the double blip, which is now fast. That looks like this. You go brake, now single blip, brake. So just to illustrate how much slower the double clutch is on the shift, if we look from the gear shift side, you'll see I actually have to pause in between when I let out the clutch. So we go brake, as opposed to a simple heel and toe, which is, see, there's a notable speed difference. Now of course, with the double clutch, it's very important that you are quite proficient in heel towing before you even attempt to double clutch, because there's a lot more going on, you have to be a lot faster, and there's a risk that if you release the clutch and don't have the gear shift in neutral, that you're going to grind your gears, which is not going to be good. So I only recommend it once you've done a lot of practicing of heel and towing and are very used to the concept of heel and towing.
Now we'll just go down here and practice our double clutching now. So to double clutch, make sure you start off nice and slow. Don't be a hero with it, or you're going to screw up and you're going to crunch your gearbox and it's going to be generally unpleasant. So sometimes it's easier to just start with the double blip because it just gives you that little bit more time. So you just come down, brakes, and just release the clutch in the middle of the shift when you hit neutral. It takes a while to get used to. So brakes, that's a single blip one there. You can see it's very smooth when it's done properly, and you'll feel the gear shift noticeably slide smoother into position. So let's just do another one here, down to second, just. Now let's do a double blip. Double blip feels way more action-packed than the other one. Sometimes works better, sometimes not. Depends on the person, really. It's much harder to keep your brake pedal pressure constant on the double, so just keep that in mind. You may want to prefer a single for that very reason.
Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully this video was somewhat informative. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Drives.